Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Speaking Of podcast, where we explore a variety of topics, share stories, and have engaging conversations. I'm Jack.
And I'm Stuart, but our conversations have a slight twist because each of us nominates a taboo topic for the week that we're not allowed to talk about. If a person speaks about the other's taboo topic, then they lose the podcast for that week. And if neither of us have guessed by the end, then we have to just guess what the other one's done and see if we went that way. So, Jack, have you got a taboo topic for this week?
Got me a taboo topic?
Excellent. How's your week been?
It's been hectic, Stu. I'm building up to my second holiday of the summer period, so...
Holiday. Check you bragging. So you're going on holiday tomorrow?
I am,
Have you packed? Have you packed? Are you a last-minute packer or like a pack a week in advance and work out what you're going to do?
I could pack an hour before going to the airport. Like, I'm so methodical. I know exactly what needs to go in there. I just pack well, put it away well, off I go.
That means you haven't washed your clothes yet. That's what it is. That's what it means. You haven't done all your washing.
Just come out the wash. They've just come out the wash, so we're good.
See, I know your sort. Yeah, I'm like a night before packer. I'm a night before packer. I'll have it all sorted the night before. Obviously, it depends what time you go in. What time are you flying?
Yeah, 6:45 p.m. So it's a weird flight.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, normally I'm an early flyer, so this is quite an unusual one for me.
I know, but if you fly too early, then you get to the other end, and then you kind of have to hang around because you can't check in or whatever.
This is true.
So yeah, wow, good for you. I bought some new sunglasses for my holiday. I'm prepping for my holiday coming up. Do you want to see my new sunglasses? Here they are.
I do. Yes, of course I do. I haven't bought sunglasses for many years now.
Well, these are prescription sunglasses. What do you reckon?
I actually think they look really nice.
Right. Do you know what? I actually have wonky ears. That's my problem.
Is that what you was doing there?
I'm trying to just. Obviously, if you're listening to the audio version of this, then this is no good whatsoever because you can't even see my beautiful glasses. So you need to pop across to YouTube to come and see my beautiful sunglasses. But yeah, I've got wonky ears. So if I actually rest them on my ears like that, then you can see that they don't look right.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not massively in love with them yet. They're a bit too light for me. I prefer them to be a little bit darker. But yeah. So there you go. That's my exciting life, buying sunglasses.
You've inspired me. I might have to go and buy a pair of sunglasses because I said I would last holiday, but I never did. And I'm going to get to the airport very early tomorrow. So, duty-free shopping.
Buy them at the airport. They'll cost a fortune.
Stu, you know what it's like? Holiday money is different type of regular money. It's
my goodness. I just wish I was as rich. But... I wish I was as rich as you. 2 holidays a year. Just buy stuff at the airport. I bet you change your money at the airport as well. That's how bougie you are. You're like, I don't even need to worry about exchange rates. I'm just gonna get my money at the airport and just I don't care about exchange rates.
No, I actually do my research and I've checked. I got my money from Sainsbury's because it was the best exchange rate I can get, and it's around the corner for me, so it's a win-win.
Well, I very rarely take out cash before I go away. I normally just use my card, and then just because I don't have fees on my card, so I just pay, tap and go. Anyway, what an interesting conversation we're having. Where are you going? I don't even know where you're going on holiday. Last time we had a conversation about you going to Bifa.
Yeah, this time I don't think you can get it wrong in the pronunciation. This time I'm going to Crete in Greece.
Crete. Oh, I went to Crete 2 years ago.
Oh.
We went in October. So it went like just in half term, just at the end of the season. It was just on the turn to be a little bit nippy.
What was the temperature like?
Just on the turn to be a bit nippy. I don't know, like 24, something like this.
Like the UK.
My kids wouldn't go back again because the pool had salt water in it, and they didn't like having salt water in the pool. Because you jumped in and then you got a big gob full of salt water and you had blah, 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 blah. But they're going to have to put up with it because where we're going on holiday this summer has got salt water as well. So
is that an option you look for? You look for a saltwater pool?
No, but we're going on a cruise. So the water comes from the sea, and that is salt water.
And what cruise are you going on?
I am So we're going to New York for 5 days because my kids are dying to go to New York. And then we are going on a cruise from New York down to Florida, down to the Bahamas and back round again. So we're going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. We've never been on a cruise before, so it might be good. We might be ready to kill each other by the end. Who knows?
I've also never been on a cruise, but how many days does your cruise last for?
7 days.
Oh, so that seems like the perfect amount of time to go on a cruise because you can't go too crazy.
Yeah, and I think with the other bit, with like 5 days before in New York as well, that's just the perfect length. And some of this. Have you been to New York?
Just to
Have you
clarify,
been to New York before?
Yes, I've been to New York. But before we go to have I been to New York,
Right.
just to clarify, you called me rich, but actually you're the guy flying all the way to New York with his family. 4 of you in total going on a cruise. I don't know.
I've been saving up for this forever. I got an amazing deal, and do you know what? Here is my amazing money saving tip. That on the cruise lines, or certainly on Royal Caribbean, if the price of your holiday drops, if the price of your cruise drops before you've paid the final instalment, you can just call them up and they will reprice your holiday. They will just reduce the price of your holiday.
That is actually amazing. What have you paid up front? Will they give you your money back?
No. So it's actually in your benefit to only pay the deposit and then wait to pay until the last possible minute. So I saw that they were having a sale. So I got a really good deal on the first place. And then I saw they were having a sale. And then I'd seen something online where somebody said, oh, just call them up and get them to reprice it. So I called them and they said, your classification of room, we haven't got any more of those, so you can't reprice it because it's not something that's available. He said, so let me have a look at the next tier up. And I'm like, oh, I see how this works. This is the con here. Here's the long game. And he said, okay, yeah, so I can see that I can get you, because we had a balcony room, but one that faced inwards, because it's like a big U shape. Mm-hmm. It's like a massive city on the water. So we were facing inwards onto what they call the boardwalk. So he said, I can get you an ocean view room. And I'm like, all right, yeah. And he said, it'll be £300 less than you're paying now, and we'll give you 250 quid's worth of on board credit. And I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer then. Yes, I will have that. Yes, please. Thank you very much. So, So that's that. Not long to go, though. I'm excited. I need a holiday. I've been working too hard. Not that you'll know about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, for the audio listeners, you wouldn't have seen my face there, but I was very shocked.
Now, speaking of working too hard, I was reading an article the other day about... it was all about kind of AI and how we can use AI in our work and stuff like this. And obviously we both work for Microsoft. We've got a big AI offering through Copilot and stuff like this. But this article was basically saying that we are spending, since the pandemic, we're spending more time in meetings than we ever have done. And there is this new work subculture of people working between 6 and 9 to do their actual work because they haven't got enough time during the day to do their work because they're in meetings talking about their work and talking about other meetings. So I thought that was an interesting thing, because somebody, not remain nameless, but his initials are J and L, mocks me for having like a sparse calendar, because I don't have a lot of meetings in my calendar because I work during the day. Whereas you have a lot of meetings in your calendar, don't you? But I just wondered whether you had thoughts there on too many meetings, not enough time to actually do any work.
Yes, I think there are 2 parts to this. One, that culture of just having a meeting for having a meeting's sake is around, and it is toxic. I don't think it should exist. And to be honest, I think we could challenge probably 50% of the meetings that are in our calendars. But the second part that I think is probably more important is, when someone schedules an hour-long meeting to talk about a topic that probably could be done in 15 minutes? That's what I think needs to
So
happen.
they spoke about this in the article because they said what we've lost is, since we're not in the office anymore, we've lost the ability for people just to come up to your desk and say, "Hey Jack, can I just talk to you about this thing for 5 minutes?" So if it's a 5-minute talk, they're booking out a half hour, and then going, "Oh, whilst I've got you, I want to talk to you about this and this and this." And some people just like the sound of their own voice. This is coming from two people who are running a podcast for other people to listen to their voice. So I don't know what that says about us. But yeah, these massive meetings. And what really irks me, what really gets my goat, is when people go in, I will give you 2 minutes back. There you go. You enjoy your 2 minutes. Like, you're doing us the biggest favour in the world. Like, 2 minutes.
What
I
about
could have saved 30 minutes and not come to your meeting in the first place.
Yes, I totally agree. What about those two? The culture of starting meetings 5 minutes past the hour. So, like, if it was supposed to start at 1, they now start them at 1:05. And there is a setting for this in Outlook that you can have as a default to start 5 minutes past the hour. Do you think
that's like a Microsoft bot, like a Microsoft advertising bot? And if you check this feature here, blah blah blah. Well, the problem there is, so I think that's a good idea. The problem there is nobody knows whether they're starting 5 minutes late or whether they're finishing 5 minutes early, because some people finish at 25 minutes past, and some people start at 5 minutes past. So it kind of doesn't doesn't work. And there's also this weird culture as well. So if you're using Teams, and I'm sure other meeting clients are available, but when somebody starts your meeting in Teams, there's a little notification that comes up and says that the meeting started. And there's also a little bit of a subculture of people trying to be the first person to start the meeting as well, so that they can be the person who's like the hardest working. So I'm going to start the meeting 3 minutes early, so my boss sees that I've started 3 minutes early. That's not the culture in my team, by the way. My team are lovely.
The best lesson I ever learned from a manager of a previous company when I worked at Adidas, his name was Dan, and he was my store manager, and he said the aspiration should be to press the end button first. That should be the goal for you. You should be ready to end that call because you've taken all you need. Bye, everyone. Boom. Or sometimes not even bye.
But what about that when they go, "Oh, Jack, can you just hang on to the meeting just for 5 minutes because I just need to grab you about something else?" Like, no! That's like when the kid in the class says to the teacher, "Oh, have we got any homework?" just as you're packing your bags up to go on the way out. You're like, no!
But my point about the 5 minute pass one is I think we should can those off entirely. We should always start on the hour or on the half an hour, and we should always end 5 minutes early, because the worst thing I absolutely hate is getting there accidentally on the hour. You've now joined the lobby with a bunch of people that are waiting for the main person that's supposed to be here, that's scheduled the meeting at 5 minutes past, and now you're having this little chit chat saying, "We'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll just wait to see who else turns up."
Or no chat. Or no chat, indeed. Like, you're all just sitting there in silence. There's no good thing. You either got mindless chit chat or no chat at all, and we're all sitting there like psychos, just going. Totally weird. Just that weird silence when nobody's speaking at all. How
it's interesting. Speaking of, slightly weird things.
All right.
I saw on BBC News published an article saying the 5th Banksy painting this week has been spotted. And
all right, I have not seen this. I've not seen this, Jack.
Yeah, it made me think about a couple of different things. But the Banksy painting that's the 5th one this week that was spotted, he painted a pelican above a fish and chip shop because part of their logo was the pelican beak, and so he painted the whole bird above the shop sign. So it looks really cool. But he's done loads of things, like there was a couple of like monkeys that looked like they was kind of walking across the bridge with their hands.
What, all this week?
All this week, yeah.
How have I missed this? How have I completely missed this?
One of them's even been stolen. There's a video of that on the BBC as well, because it was painted on a kind of like a satellite dish, and someone stole the satellite dish which was recorded. But it brings me to the point, because Banksy's anonymous and he's famous, does that mean he gets away with these paintings, or is it still illegal for him to be doing what he's doing.
Is he still anonymous? I thought that we knew who he was.
Yeah, but they still brand him as an anonymous graffiti artist.
Do we know who he is, though?
I don't know.
I don't know if we know who he is. But he obviously gets away with it because nobody knows who he is. Or maybe they've caught him. Maybe he's in prison. Maybe he's just got a whole load of copycats who are just copying him, and he's been banged up for graffitiing.
But you know what I found interesting as well? He uses stencils. So could you imagine some of the places
What a cheater. God, blimey. Yeah. I thought he was a good artist. He's just using stencils. God. What are you? He's got those those letter sets that you used to get at school. He's like doing lettering just with his pencil around because he can't write a proper S.
At least
write the proper ampersand symbol or something like
that. He studied well at school, clearly. But
no, I thought that he did use. I thought he used stencils. It looks like it's a kind of stencil work.
It's too good. It's too good to be like real graffiti. So that's why I'm wondering: does he get away with not being arrested for graffiti? Should he be arrested because he's still being a graffiti artist? Like, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm just curious.
But there must be, like, also the size of the work that he does. There must be logistics that happen. I can't believe that it just happens and nobody knows. Like, how do you put a painting above a fish and chip shop? Like, how do you? Because it must take time. You know, the way that he does it, it must have to dry and kind of get for him to be able to kind of layer up images and stuff like this. He must have to have ladders out, or and stuff like this. It can't just happen and nobody knows. I don't believe it.
Here is my next point. If I was to do it, or you was to do it, but we was to have a ladder. Oh yeah, it would be dreadful.
It'd be terrible, yeah.
But let's imagine it was great. We had a ladder and we had cones and we had a high vis. Do you think anyone would stop us?
No. Now there's a guy. Where is he? I'm sure he's in the US. Who? I think he's in the US. Who photoshops himself into adverts and things that look the same as the organisation's existing posters, and then goes and replaces the posters in like a restaurant or something like that with images of himself. So, like, let's say you were in McDonald's and there's like a massive canvas up of something of like a happy employee kind of handing out a burger. He will take the exact same photo, but he's in it, and then he tries to replace it and sees how long it goes before somebody notices that they've replaced it with his own.
I love it.
I think he did one. A Wendy's. I think he did one a Wendy's restaurant in the US or something like this, and he replaced the actual Wendy's logo with like an illustration of himself, but with like the Wendy's. I think Wendy's has got like plaited hair and stuff like this. The same kind of stuff.
It comes down to that confidence, though. If you walk in somewhere with enough confidence, I think most places you can get through.
Yeah, because there's like a method to be on the rob doing that, isn't there? Where you just kind of walk in, I'm the TV repairman. Yep, this is my buddy Jack. Yep, got a high vis on, got a hard hat. Yep, let me just take this massive 80-inch telly off the wall. I'll go take that back to the warehouse, get that sorted. You can do the talking because you've got the accent for that.
Well, yeah, I think you put a better accent on than I do, to be honest.
So speaking of that accent. Like that, Jason Statham, who he has that accent, and he's got that kind of that thing. I saw on the interwebs that he was an Olympic diver.
That was my taboo topic. Winner, that's me. Thank you very much. Yes,
no way.
The trap, because last week was an entirely Olympics kind of conversation, and I thought this week we would swerve the topic entirely, but you have
cheated. You're a cheater because you knew that I was going to talk to you. I spoke to you about this in the week and said that this was going to be a topic I was going to bring up.
It's not listed in your notes. It's not listed in your show notes.
You big cheater. We don't have notes. We're entirely spontaneous. The whole thing is entirely spontaneous.
No,
But
sorry,
yeah.
the advertising company gave you the notes, didn't they, to talk about, because we're paid loads of money. So
Absolutely. By Microsoft, obviously, to talk about Outlook features and stuff like this.
Go on then, tell me more.
Well, I'm still going to carry on. So yes, he was a top level Olympic diver, the Tom Daley of his time, as it were. I don't know whether he made. I don't think he actually made it to the Olympics. So I think he tried out for the Olympics. I don't think he actually made it. But he competed for both Seoul in '88 and Barcelona in '92. But I think he had some success in Commonwealth and things like this in the 1990s, stuff like this. And I think it's just interesting that, are there a type of people, are there like alpha type of people that no matter what it is, they kind of go, do you know what? I want to be famous. I'm going to be an Olympic diver. No, I can't be an Olympic diver. I'm going to go and be an actor. I'm going to be in Fast and the Furious movies and drive fast cars and be a bank robber and shave me head and be a like Cockney hard man and stuff like this. Do you think those are the? Do you think it's connections? Do you think it's the type of person that you are? You know,
good question. I think I don't know. It's got to come down to a bit of drive. Like the person's got to have the desire to want to succeed in whatever they do. But I genuinely do not think there are that many people in the world that could go from Olympic sports, it didn't work for me, to as successful as he has been with his acting career. And then I think only now has he got that connection. He probably didn't have that connection at the Olympics. Like, imagine you as a contender, not even a gold medalist. I don't think you build that much of a network that would help you be that successful in the future. You'd have to still have the desire yourself to go after it.
Well, I tell you what, that long jumper, that high jumper rather, who knocked off the pole with his pole, he's been offered some movie work. I was reading this week.
No way.
Not the kind of movie work that you want your mum to see. But I was reading.
Such a bad joke. I walked straight into it.
No, genuine. £250,000 has been offered to do some speciality videos.
It's fantastic. Listen, I heard Olympic, people that goes into the Olympics and contest, they actually don't earn a lot of money. So, well, some of them don't. Some nations pay. But yeah, if I would take the offer.
Well, there's a big thing, I think, about the... wasn't there a big thing about the British diving team? Lots of them have got OnlyFans accounts and they post photos and stuff like this. Not full. You don't get to see the whole springboard, but they do just just walk around in tiny little pants and stuff, as divers do.
So here's another interesting thing, because I think things like the Olympics have never been as successful now for the individual as they would have been previously. And Keely Hodgkinson, who done the 800 meter absolute rapid sprint, which, by the way, there's a video on YouTube of someone trying to maintain her pace on a running machine. It's near impossible. So well done, amazing. But she started with something like 220,000 followers on Instagram, which is really nice.
That's a lot. That's good following, yeah.
Yeah, she's branded all over Nike, etc., so on and so forth. She's now on, I just checked, 480,000 followers. So I don't know. The Olympics does give you opportunities. I tell you who's got more. I tell you who's grown his following on the Instagram. That high jumper. I think you got to stop bringing them up, Stu. I know. Have I got to stop sharing his, reposting his Instagram pictures? Is that what I've got to do? People are going to ask how you know so much, what are you following? You know about the girls and OnlyFans? People are going to ask questions, Stu.
Not girls. It's not girls who put it on. No, it's the men's team.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's the men's team who are putting... I mean, I think the problem is if you're in like a niche sport, then... if you're a fencing expert or whatever like this, then people only care about it on a 4-year cycle. When all of a sudden you do well at fencing and everyone's like, oh my goodness, brilliant. The fencing clubs, all the membership where people are sending their kids go, my child needs to be an Olympic fencer. And they send them all and then it kind of dies down again. But our athletes don't get paid for medals, whereas in some countries they get paid for medals, don't they? Is there?
Yeah, the US
But a lot of our
pays.
funding comes through the lottery, and they trickle it out across the 4 years, so that you've got like something to live on whilst you train and stuff.
Interesting. I did have this interesting topic of conversation at my barber's this morning, because we was talking about the variety of sports in the Olympics, and we were talking about other sports that we do and we have grown up around, etc., so on and so forth. And then we got onto the topic of throwing darts and how that is a sport itself. Stu, with the decrease in pubs around the UK, do you think the talent for professional darts players will only weaken? That was a genuine topic of conversation at my barber's this morning.
Well, that lad, I don't know what his name is.
Luke
Littler. Thank you. He's only a kid, so he can't have come up through the pub scene.
That's a good point.
Although if you were, let's say your dad or your mum was a darts player, and that you have to you end up spending a lot of your time just sitting at the edge of a pub with a fruit shoot and a pack of crisps, watching them play. No, kids, watching them play darts and stuff. Then I suppose that inspires you to practice. But you have to see your parents playing darts to get into that. But yeah, no, I think it is. I think it is a dying thing, and a lot of the pubs are more commercial pubs. So you've got the death of the pub, but you've also the death of independent pubs, as opposed to like Wetherspoons and stuff like this. I don't think they really do darts in a Wetherspoons, do they?
No, but maybe they bring it back as their own sport. Maybe they fuel the nation to go and do something like the Wetherspoons Olympics, and it's just the darts, so the Wetherspoons darts or something like that.
I tell you what, the Wetherspoons Olympics, I think, would be a whole other thing. I've been seeing what like Wetherspoons like on a Friday or a Saturday night. It'd be like, I don't know, what would be in the what a great thing to think about. Let's think about that. And if anybody's got any suggestions, share them. What would be in the Wetherspoons Olympics? What a great conversation topic. I'll think about that for next time. Let's defer that. We'll talk about that next time. What would be in the Wetherspoons Olympics?
I've just got a message from the CEO of Wetherspoons. They might take up the idea if we come up with some good ideas.
I thought that was going to be a message saying, "Don't talk about Wetherspoons. I'm going to sue you."
Oh no, they'd love it. Wetherspoons is that type of brand. It's like Ryanair. It doesn't matter whether you say good things or bad things. Press is press for them, and I think they love it.
Yeah, but they still only like it the Wetherspoons way, though, don't they? Do they still not have music in Wetherspoons?
I don't know. You're kind of asking me as if I've been there recently, Stu. Which I have.
Well, you are younger than me. I don't get to go out. I'm going out tonight because it's my wedding anniversary.
So it is. Are you going to Wetherspoons?
I'm not going to Wetherspoons. No, I'm going to a nice pub restaurant out for dinner with my wife because both of my children are at sleepovers tonight. Woo woo!
Is there the chance you could stop off via a Wetherspoons?
I don't really much like the Wetherspoons in where I live.
How will we know if there is music being played?
So I don't think they do. I think that's their policies that there's no music at Wetherspoons because I think the PRS licensing is quite expensive.
Yeah, how much money do you reckon that would take them?
Loads, but because it's so the PRS licensing is done on the footprint, the worth of the building. And the premises and the size and how many people you can fit in and what type of things. So there's a really complex formula. But because Wetherspoons pubs are actually quite big and a lot of them are in multiple levels and stuff, so they can take in loads of people on a Friday and Saturday night, it would be quite expensive for them to have a PRS license for all of their places. So that's why I think. But I think they probably have some marketing spin that say, it's so that we could have the atmosphere. It's so that the atmosphere of a 54-year-old man drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. That's the atmosphere they're going for, I think. And for cheap meals.
Does that license depend on the type of music you play, do you know?
What, like you play drum and bass, you get a different price than if you're playing Taylor Swift?
Oh, I'm just asking from like a Nando's perspective. Like Nando's obviously play, music that originates from their
No, they
chosen
still have
choice.
to. Yeah, no, they still would have to pay. They would still have to pay the same PRS license. If you have any live or recorded music, then you have to pay PRS. And if you get rid of your PRS, if you cancel your PRS, they send spies to come and check on you, because it's very unlikely that people would stop playing music in a venue.
It's like the people that come around knocking on the door to check you're paying not your TV license.
Do they do that now?
Why? That's what you see on TV.
What TV are you watching?
Well, the older shows.
The greatest TV licensing inspectors, like some Channel 5 documentary, is that the top 100 TV licensing crackdowns in the UK live. Is that what you're watching? Like 24 hours in police custody, but following a TV licensing inspector.
Do you know what? You made me laugh because you made me think about there's this guy that drives around in a black BMW. He wears a puffer jacket. He puts a USB cable over his ear to look like a police officer almost, because he's got a cable there, and he has a radio in his hand. And he drives around like a normal civilian, but he'll flash someone. He'll pull up next to them on 2 lanes, and he'll just do the. You all right, mate? Driving a bit faster. You got to slow down for me, please. And it probably is the same with the TV inspectors people. They probably do exist. They come around and ask you questions, and just because of the name they give you and the title they give you, you will fall for it and say whatever you need to say.
I think people drive around areas and they broadcast a Wi-Fi signal that says TV licensing van to make people to try and scare people and stuff like this.
I don't know. I'm not checking my Wi-Fi that often, to be honest. I'm just hoping it's connected.
I know. Who does? Who does? Well, I'll tell you what. That was a super quick half an hour.
It's flown by.
You can't believe it. Can't be flown by. Entertaining conversation. Entertaining, eh? So, yes, you won. You won the podcast. So that's 1-1 now.
Yeah.
My guess, I don't know whether I do have to guess or not, but my guess of what yours was going to be about Twitter and Elon Musk making an absolute pig's ear of Twitter this week by putting stuff on.
Yeah, it was an absolute mess, wasn't it? What you were saying.
Yeah. Was that your taboo topic?
Yeah.
It was. I'm too good. But still no points for me for that. Hey, have you got a recommendation for the week?
So this is an old throwback recommendation.
Oh, I like old ones.
Starting to watch it again. Prison Break. I am back on that scene of watching Prison Break. Just started again.
From the start.
Yep, season 1, episode 1.
Did you watch the whole? Did you watch the whole thing originally?
Yes,
because it was good. Like season 1 was good, season 2 was good, and then it went off a cliff, and then it went. And by the time they ended up in that, spoiler alert, like in that Spanish prison or wherever it was, Brazilian prison, I can't remember where it was. It started to get a bit far fetched then.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to beat the original Michael Scofield in the first prison. So
that's it.
It's always hard to replicate. What about your recommendation? What have you got for us?
So my recommendation this week is Ghosts, which is on iPlayer. It is another. It's not brand new. It's had a few seasons, and they've actually now sold it to the US, and the US have remade it as Ghosts US. So it's a comedy. It's got loads of the actors who were all in kind of things like Horrible Histories, that kind of group. And if you've watched things like Taskmaster, you'll have seen all of those. A lot of those characters have been through and have been on. Well, not characters, the actors and comedians have been on Taskmaster. So it's about a couple who both have been on Taskmaster, and they inherit a stately home from the girlfriend's great aunt who's died or something like this. Inherited the mansion, but this stately home is haunted. And they move in and they decide they're going to turn it into a hotel and do it up. But you see all of these ghosts who live there, and they're all these weird and wonderful characters. And then quite early on, the girlfriend, when they're renovating, she falls off a ladder or something. I can't quite remember what it is. And she goes into a coma and has this near-death experience. So because she's been near-death, she then is able to see all of the ghosts because she has been through that death thing herself. So then she can see all of the ghosts, but nobody else can see the ghosts. And they're all really weird characters. So there's one of them is a scout leader who got shot through the neck with an arrow in 1984, and he just walks around the whole time in a scout uniform with an arrow sticking through. One is an MP who died in a sex scandal, like a weird sex game and that thing. So he walks around all the time. He's got a suit, top half, and then he's just got boxer shorts on the bottom half, and things like this. And he discovers that he's on the internet as the MP who got caught in a sex scandal. He's trying to get him to fix it, and they're trying to say that's not how the internet works and stuff like this. I'm giving it some time. I've had 3 episodes, I think. It's a slow one, but it must have gone well because they've got loads and loads of series. So I'll see how that goes. So there you go. Those are our recommendations. That is everything from us for the week. If you've got any questions, tips, suggestions, things that we got wrong, all of those things, then drop it to us by email, which is...
Speaking... Oh my God.
Witches! Give that a go again. This is live.
Hello.
Take 2.
Hello. Speakingofpodcast.com.
Come on, Jack. Right, get it together now. I'm not editing any of this out, by the way. This is all great.
Yeah.
What is? Email it to us, and our email address is
hello@speakingofpodcast.com.
Brilliant. 1 week, we'll get this right, and you'll just do it, nail it just off the bat. Brilliant. Well, that's everything from us for this week. We will see you again on next Tuesday's episode. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.